Okay. PFL Belfast goes down in just a few days, Thursday, 16th of April, to see Arena in Belfast. Making his sophomore appearance in PFL, the former Cage Warriors Bantamweight champion, Caolan Loughran. Caolan, a week out, how you doing?
Really good, lad. Really good. I live and train in Belfast, so being a week out is kind of starting to see all the billboards up around the city and stuff, and the camp's coming to an end tonight. So now the vibes are good, lad. I'm ready for fight week.
Of course. I want to touch on that straight away. Obviously, after a long time in Liverpool, you're back in Ireland now with Fight Academy. How has that move been for you? What's the experience been like at the gym?
Uh, Unbelievable, lad. Unbelievable. I made this clear to anyone who's asked me. Like it was just how it worked. Like my coaches in Liverpool and all were brilliant. They're great people. I text Mike and John all the time. I need to get over after this fight, get back over to them for a few days and do some training. But it's just how it worked out, lad. I'd been in Liverpool for 7 years. My girlfriend's from here, but she finishes her uni this week. And then she's moved. She got a job in the hospital back home here, so she is moving home. And just how it worked out, I done a few sessions up in Fight Academy and really liked it. And I've known the lads and the coaches for a long time, but I just came to give it a go, and it's been class, lad. A change is as good as a rest, they say. But I've been here for 6 months now or so. I took a fight on the Usman Nurmagomedov off Alfie Davis card, but it fell through.
Yeah.
But that was kind of just rushed. I wasn't too annoyed that that fell through because I've had time to kind of work with the guys and their systems and stuff over here, get onto the routine, be at home, new city, new training partners, new coaches. It's big. It's a lot of news. So now it's been class, lad. But it only really matters if I show it next Thursday night, isn't it? But the fact that my first fight here is in Belfast and now they've moved home, you couldn't beat it. Like,
Of course, and that's obviously going to be a big stage. There's so many Irish fighters up and down the card, of course. Um, about to head into your second fight with PFL. How was that jump for you coming over from the UFC? How have you found it? What's similar? What's been different?
no, it's deadly. I said this the last time that there was actually it felt like the biggest fight I had, like media wise and attention on me going into the my PFL debut. Supposedly UFC they have so many stars and stuff. For PFL probably don't have that depth of rosters. They can put even more emphasis on their fighters. Something that I've found. Um, that was the way I was honestly feeling. Felt like I was doing a lot more media and stuff for the PFL fight, and now this one's in Belfast. I'd obviously be a big ticket seller over here, so I expect when fight week to come out it to be something similar. So no, they've been looking after me really, really, really well, and I'm loving it to be honest. And a lot of the changes that John Martin have made, I thought they've all been really, really good in listening to interviews. So no, it's been class, and I'm really happy to be a part of it.
Do you just want to touch on that first fight with Jack Cartwright? Obviously,
Of course.
a few months on. How do you reflect on that one, and what aspects from that one stand out as things you're obviously looking to put right next week?
Well, that was it. We came to a new gym and started working on things that they thought I needed to, and a lot of it's just getting to what I'm good at early and stop messing about really and fighting the wrong fight. I've had a lot of guys in my weight over here, which is good too. So a lot of the preparation's been really good too. But the fight just went the way it went. That's fighting, bro. I kind of the way I'm looking at it now is because I've a lot of news and a lot of new things and a lot of brand new is a lot of is what's going through my head at the minute. That I'm trying to not put myself in that mind frame from back then and try to focus on the new. You know what I mean? Cartwright fought there last week or so. If the PFL want to make that, I'm 100% down to do it. But I'm kind of focused on Alan and a lot of the new aspects to my game and going forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what are those new aspects when you think of the Caolan Loughran from 6 months ago? What's going to be different stepping into the cage next week?
Well, a lot of things is just energy, isn't it? And I say a rest is as good as change. Just being home has been class. I'm really happy. Life's going really good over here, and I think a happy fighter's day. Not that I wasn't before. I'm not saying that at all. That I love my. I actually do from time to time miss the lads over in Liverpool, of course. But no, lad, I'll try and keep that half close to my chest. See if I can nail it. We've been working on fight night. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Of course, and you spent moment as an interesting matchup this time around. Alan Philpott, a guy maybe a bit younger than a lot of people realize he is, but he's nearly had 40 pro fights. Obviously, a lot of those have been in Australia lately. But back in the day, Cage Warriors, Bama, he had a win over Nathaniel Wood in Bama. What are your thoughts on him? I saw some of the comments you said about him on social media. But
See,
what are your thoughts on him? He a guy that obviously he's a guy representing Northern Ireland. Is he a guy that you would have looked up to at points, given his experience and all he done around the time that you were coming into the sport? I mean, I worked out when you made your amateur debut, he'd already had 25 pro fights.
holy fuck, Jesus, that's mad. I definitely never looked up to Alan Philpott. No, I respected him as a fighter. Definitely when he was one of the top guys. Bama, I at that time definitely always wanted to fight Philpott because he was a bit of a mouth back then. So he was. He's become like quiet and all now, and suppose he's got a bit older and stuff. But it's a fight that I wanted. I would have surpassed Alan when I went on the Cage Wars in the UFC, and that the fight probably wouldn't have made sense. But just because it came to Belfast, I wasn't meant to fight Alan. I was meant to fight Sarvajan Hamidov. This card was originally in Boston, but just because it got changed, Sarvajan, I think, is, if not the best, he's one of the best in the division. He's up there, top two or three. Um, but the way that we need a working visa for America, he needs one here. I think Mozart Evloev had a bit of bother for supposedly a bit of bother for the UFC London card for something similar. So because it was short notice, that never came to fruition, and the fight was in Belfast, so they made sense to me and all a local matchup. It'll probably the one that garners one of the most interest locally here. Anyway, I keep meeting people in coffee shops and saunas, and they're talking about it. But I used to see, and I think in fighting, age is only a number. It's your wear and tear in the game and how long you've been in the game. You can be a 30-year-old prospect, or you can be finished at 30. And whereas you might not be that on, like literally might not be that old. I think he's very old in the game, mentally and physically. He's had Alan. I only found this out when I came home because he trained a bit in Fight Academy. The lads I've joined, Alan's been up to training. I think he's had a lot of fights, like not even counting his professional MMA record, like amateur MMA and K1 and Muay Thai and stuff. He's had like 100 fights, more to be honest. So, I think he's a lot of wear on the tires, mentally and physically, and I think, if I'm being brutally honest, he's half out the door. I think he's got a lot of stuff going on externally and stuff, and I don't have that. This is my full 100% focus, and I think that'll show. I think that'll show in preparation and in the fight. You know,
So, in your mind, a bit of surprise when he was the name that they gave to you?
I would have liked someone ranked, but I did lose, and then when it was coming to Belfast, I was like, "Fuck, that may actually it does make sense. It makes a lot of sense, and a lot of people here were really happy with the matchup. Like the team I'm in and the media guys that cover MMA in Ireland, they thought it was a great matchup. And me being on a loss, new team, new everything, it makes sense. Certainly not overlooking Alan. I think he thinks that I am. A loss for me, my stock goes plummets. So I'm definitely not overlooking him. I know he's got skill everywhere. But I when I first heard it, I thought, "Oh, fuck me." I actually asked, how does it affect my money? It's the first thing I asked. But now that I think about it, it probably it makes a lot of sense, and it'll garner a lot of interest next week and sell tickets. You know.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, he fought last year against McGuirlin, a man a lot of people still want to see you in the cage with, and I'm sure you would have watched that fight in at the time, but also in preparation for this one. What did you think of that fight?
Yeah, it was Keith said I was literally 10 foot away. Um, if you want me to be brutally honest, the grappling was absolutely horrendous, start to finish from both of them. Like piss poor. Like to be in that position of a card and the PFL, like that level, it's as low as you're gonna. I mean, Alan was looking good early, slick on the feet, giving Lewis a lot of problems. But then Lewis, who I know firsthand is not a good grappler, was able to go take him down, take his back, choke him out, have his back in the first round and the second. The guy, that's low level. And yeah, they're two pretty good fighters, MMA, but like in terms of MMA grappling, I thought it was really low level. I think Alan will probably be better. This fight, he rung 5 weeks out to say he can't make bantamweight. I think he'd probably be better featherweight than he would be bantamweight. At this stage of his career, so I'm expecting a better version of him. But brutally honest, lad, I was 10 foot away, and I thought it was quite low level. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, obviously, you mentioned Lewis there. There was a bit of back and forth when he pulled out of the fight with you. I know you don't want to look past Alan. You said you're not overlooking Alan. I'm sure that's one you want to get done, right?
Absolutely, but I do. I'll sit Lewis because I'll call a spade a spade. He doesn't want to fight anyone because I know firsthand in the PFL they've told me, like he turned down me, he's turned down Taylor Lapillus. I don't know how many times, several times. So I think he's on a really good contract and he wants to take no risk. So I'm interested to see if they do try to make me and him again or who they do try and make him with because he wants to fight nobody. So I would definitely fight him next. I would want nearly something in the contract in the PFL. The cunt doesn't pull out. But so a matchup that I'm looking at big time is Kieran Clark. Around the summer, he's fighting on the same card as me. I like Kieran's been a really nice guy. He's doing a lot of things for his area in Drogheda, positive things for young people. Um, but he fights on this card. He was ranked. I've obviously fought higher level competition than Kieran. I'm actually slightly younger than him. But I would definitely, just to get in the rankings, that would again would be another big regional matchup. I think PFL are talking to come back to Belfast at the end of the year, but I'd like to fight before that. But if they want to make me and Kieran, I'd be down for that. Want to make me and Lewis, I'm down for that. Want to make me and Jack Cartwright, down for that. Or anyone in the top 10. But it all starts with Alan next Thursday night, and if I don't beat him, then I can't call out anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What the talk around this event has been the timings. Third night, midnight main card. Not the most unfriendly time. Obviously, that's just the
No.
slot the PFL could get from ESPN. But when you've got a lot of Irish talent on the show, you're trying to build something under a new brand because Bellator had a really good presence in Ireland, but
Yeah.
not necessarily PFL yet. Of course, you'd hope there's an opportunity, but that kind of that doesn't help it. What do you make of that?
Yeah, well, see, it was originally in Boston. I don't know if a lot of people
Yeah,
know that yet. That's for the ESPN slot. That's why it's late,
yeah,
so they've kept the TV slot. Um, when I first heard it, I was like, "That's weird." I can't lie, 'cause that is so strange. But I knew they do Thursday nights in America, and this was scheduled for America. I had my working visa. It was only, I think it was the 11th of February. It was only changed.
yeah.
Um,
It wasn't long.
yeah. So like, I didn't mind it was America. Whenever I heard the Belfast, I like, well, hopefully they'll move it, but they couldn't because the TV slot was sorted. It's not ideal when I first heard it, but then I started to think about it, and I told my mates, and the way they're now looking at it is Friday off work, long weekend, Thursday at the fights, Friday on the beer, Saturday on the beer. So it's actually turned into a really big positive now.
Yeah,
Over here, it wasn't a tough sale for them at all. Then they almost convinced me back, and I was like, actually, that does sound great to be honest. So when I first did initial, it was a bit weird, but I've come around to the idea. You know what I mean? I need a because I'm now a week out, so like I need to start me like it's not a non-professional, but like it's not a Saturday night, it's not a Thursday night, so you have to take it that this is the
yeah,
Saturday wake up wise. No, do you know what I mean? Like prepping your fight week. It's now I'm on a Saturday, so I should be chilling, but I feel good, so I'm kind of pushing through it. But I need to start to switch off. Um, but I was when I first heard it was a bit weird, but long weekend on the beer lad, so there's worse problems, you know.
yeah. But with the card being on a Thursday, what day does fight week start? What day is hotel check-in and things like that?
I'm actually not checking it until the
Yeah,
Monday morning. I think it was you could have got it earlier, but I live and train in Belfast, but on the weekends I go home to like my family with here up in Tyrone, about 90 minutes away roughly. Um, so I'm just gonna chill the weekend anyway, back up home. But I'll rock into the Fighter Hotel Monday morning probably. But fight week, I suppose, starts on Friday morning. Now, I guess would be the right answer. But I tonight finished my camp and I'll start to taper off, change my diet and stuff. But thankfully, I have no big weight cuts, so kind of I don't really know. It'll feel like fight week Monday, but I suppose it is on Friday. You know.
Yeah, I guess being where you are on the card, it's
Yeah.
almost a bit lucky because you're going to be fighting at normal time anyway. You're going to be fighting at like 9, 10 o'clock. But I mean, I think of
Something like that.
Dara in the main event is going to be walking out at like 2 a.m. I know he's had to like train later in the day than he normally would, and he's had to prepare for that. So it's
I don't
tricky.
know. Yeah, I know Reese trains. We do a thing here in Fight Academy, the fighter circuit, to end your camp, and Reese is doing his tonight at midnight.
Yeah,
So him and Shando's coming in at midnight tonight, but I'm just doing my normal time, like 9 p.m. ish. He's gonna start to acclimatize. Yeah, I fought on UFC 304 in Manchester. I fought Jake Hadley. I think the ring walk was at
yeah,
2:30, two
yeah.
thirty five a.m. or something. Walked to the cage. Not ideal. Not ideal.
And I mean, I just think of that card when like we saw Leon's performance in the main event of that card, and like
Yeah.
that was the whole thing, right? He just looked tired.
I mean, like the UFC I had the time had me like a sleep specialist, and he gave me this whatever that even means, a sleep specialist. I don't know. He gave us this fucking program of when to nap and when to sleep. So I tried to get on it. Then it came to fight day, and I was meant to nap at 8:30 p.m. But on UFC fight in the hotel, the crowd's got outside. You go open the door, there's 200 fans there. So
Yeah,
like the energy about the hotel's unreal. You fucking Alexander Volkanovski's walking in the fucking you know that you're about to go fight. So I went and lay down at 8:30, turned off all the lights, and my heart rate's just going like this. It's like I'm not gonna sleep. I don't know why I'm doing this. There's literally no chance I'm gonna sleep. So I was just awake for all that time. I was awake till 2:30 a.m. and I believe that Tom and Leon said the same, but they were just awake right through to 5 a.m. You know what I mean? You can't nap at that properly. Like,
yeah, of course. Um, yeah, I mean, it's a big opportunity for Irish MMA. So just from your perspective, obviously I'm over in England, so I'm not as close to it as you guys. What's the Irish MMA? What's the state of Irish MMA at the moment?
well, this is big, and obviously Paul was a massive loss to this
Yeah,
card. He is the big name here in Belfast. I was looking forward to sharing a card with him, but yeah, this is going to be big. The SSCs are like local, it's like the O2 in London, the Co-op in Manchester. Belfast's main one is the SSC, and if you're coming over what's called the M2 roundabout into Belfast, which is where I would go, you kind of overlook the Titanic quarter where the like Titanic was built. Now it's kind of like the nice part of Belfast, and they've got this massive billboard with all our faces on it as you're coming into Belfast. Like it actually took me by. No one told me it was there, and I went down. I was like, Jesus, fuck Christ, there it is. It was quite cool. So that will like definitely help. Literally every single person driving into Belfast will see it. I know the PFL are doing open workouts in Victoria Square this weekend, or sorry, next Tuesday, where everyone does all the shopping and stuff. So there will be definitely a buzz about the city, big time. And obviously signing Reese was big for them, but no, it's big. It's big, big year of Belfast. Paul was a big loss, but this is a step in the right direction. The PFL, because of Paul, for a lot of it, has a big name here in Belfast. So now I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to the buzz. There's a good buzz about the gym up there with me, Reese, and Young Masalovers fighting, and it's gonna be class, lad. I really, really, really can't wait. Obviously, I mean, I've only fought one time in Belfast a pro in my life, and it was Cage Warriors whenever Reese McKee beat Justin Burlinson for the title. Then I went on and won the Cage Wars world title in Rome. Then I went to the UFC and was fighting in like Atlantic City and even London. Ticket prices are very dear. Then my PFL debut was in Dubai. So for since the last time I fought in Belfast, there's obviously a lot has happened. And for a lot of
yeah.
people, this gonna be the first time that they can come watch me live. So no, it's gonna be class, lad. I really, 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 really can't wait. Looking forward to fight week and fight day, and competing.
Of course. I'm a week out now, so it's about to get real. I want to thank you for taking the time today, Caolan. PFL Belfast goes down in just a few days, April 16th. SSE Arena. There are tickets still available for anyone going down to the watching at home. Give us a hard sell. When yourself and Alan Philpott step into the cage, what can the people expect?
Smash him. Absolutely batter him. Go at him from the first minute until he rips you off him. Different level of pressure than you've ever seen from me before.
Perfect. Well, thanks. Thanks again, and best of luck.
Thank you so much, bro. Anytime.